Raging Review.
The Raging Cajuns will be a source of pride for this university, for the alumni, fans, and donors as we achieve success in the classroom, in the competitive arena, and in the community.
It's about to get really fun.
We're looking for dudes that will stand up. Well, Coach, let me tell you today, I'm here and I'm ready to stand up. And I challenge you, Raging Cajun Nation, to stand up with us. Stand up with us. Let's lock hand in hand and let's walk through the gates of Omaha.
Hey, I love y'all boys. Let's grind every day starting today. Let's do it. Y'all ready? Alert! Ready? Who's that team ready? Who's that team ready? Yes, sir.
I got one thing to say right here. Cajuns win!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the Raging Review Podcast, post-game edition, as Track the Pack comes back for a wild weekend wrap-up against the Troy State Trojans, as they like to call us, the ULL. We'll call them the Troy State Trojans. Welcoming in Lane, as well as Troy's Paddy Wagon, a.k.a. a list of names for Josh. So welcome in, boys. How are you guys doing today? I'll start with you, Josh. First of all, did you go to the game today, Josh? I know you went earlier this weekend, but were you there today?
No, I had soccer this morning, and then when I got back, we were going to go to the game, but it was like 6-0 in the first inning. So decided to watch it at home and regretted that decision.
Lane, I know you were out there today. We'll circle back to your experience today, but how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm a little hot because the sun was beating down, but I'm good.
Ball, you need to put you on some sunscreen or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Cajuns with a weird week this week, come out and play like absolute trash against Southern, play like absolute trash against McNeese. And really, for all intents and purposes, it was 4-3 on Friday night, but we played like trash Friday night, but still had a chance to win toward the end of the game. Now, I know, Josh, you and I wrapped up the midweek games. We told you what we thought. We thought we'd go 2-1 this weekend. Ended up going 1-2. But I want to start with the Troy game on Friday night, and I'll go ahead and throw up that screen right now. We'll look at those stats from that game and just anything you want to talk about. But obviously, you know, we didn't do what it took to win the damn game, and I think we all can agree on that. The issue. And look, I'm not gonna focus on the last play of the game, and we'll show that video in a little bit. But when you're struggling the entire game, and you get to the last inning, you know, the bottom of the ninth, you're trying to get a run across. You got a guy on first, 2 outs, or 1 out at that point. Umpire makes that call in that moment. You know, that's a tough pill to swallow. And I posted it on social media. It got pretty viral. And we'll show it in a second. But I'm not going to focus on that right now. I just want to turn it over to you, let you talk about the game experience and the game itself. And then I guess we can maybe kind of move on to that point of the game where you had a chance to tie it up, and you had that opportunity taken away from you by an umpire who was frankly terrible the entire game, Josh. I don't know any other way to put it.
Umpire was bad all weekend. This is our life in the Sun Belt. But look, let's talk about an overview of the game. The game was pretty tit for tat. The difference is 2 of their big hits went over the wall and 2 of our big hits did not. It was a little bit, I would say the gap was a little bit wider than 4-3. You know what I mean? Like the feeling of the game, it didn't feel like we were all that competitive up until the final innings.
It felt like it was 9-0, to be honest with you. That
sure,
we were down.
And credit to Gaines, you know, he's been struggling with injuries for a few years. He was every bit as good as we thought he could be. He's come all the way back from some of his surgeries. Some guys don't. I give a lot of credit to Troy for coming in here, playing good defense. There was a couple of hiccups, but not in crucial situations. They pitched it on Friday. They hit the ball over the wall when they needed to. We did enough to keep ourselves in the game, right? But we just never could get the crucial hit with guys in the scoring position and 2 outs. That's been the story of the season. You got to give credit to Holzhammer, who held it together. The entire pitching staff on Friday gave us a chance to win the game. And that's, if there's something that comes away from Friday and Saturday, and I know we gave up 8 runs on Saturday, but if you look at the overall pitching from those two games, you come away, and even on Sunday, McGehee was good for 3 innings. I know he gave up a little bit of hits and some runs later in his outing, but even that was encouraging. But going back to Friday, the issue on Friday is you had a play at the plate where we get the relay in from right field. We get it to Jose. He tags Cavill out, Cavill, however you say it, out. And nobody jumped out the dugout. And Jose didn't turn around and defend his position. And I got to tell you, man, based on where we're at in the season, at that point, you're 8-11. You got this team coming in, and we're 8-10, I guess, at that point. You got this punk ass team, tool bag team that showed their ass to you the whole day. They don't know how to dress. Their pants look like they got Speedos on. They don't respect the game. By the way,
that is stupid. That, you know what that tells me, Josh? That tells me it's a bunch of me guys. Like, look at me. Look at me. I'm so cool. I'm so goofy. It's stupid. It's a bad look, but hey, what do I know?
But we're all experiencing that. They're interacting with the fans. They're trying to get the interaction with the fan, and they're trying to get the reaction after that play happens with.
And by the way, looking at the video, how stupid does he look talking shit with that glove on his hand? I mean,
right, the oven mitt. The oven mitt doesn't look very tough. You're not very tough with the oven mitt. But no, but my issue wasn't even that. Like, I don't even really. That doesn't bother me all that much. What bothered me was that there was no response to it. And I've said this on the show before, but I go back to the Hayden Dirk at Southern Miss episode, and the coaching staff would not let guys on the field. And this probably will open up an entirely different conversation. But, you know, Stephen Feehan would have been out the dugout before Deggs had the opportunity to turn around and say, don't do it. Jace Conrad would have been out the dugout before. I don't know what's going on with this team and this program as far as, like, we preach grit and we preach toughness and we preach pack mentality, but we don't show that on the field. And I'm sorry, but yeah, maybe the penalties are stiffer now in college baseball, where if you get into an altercation or you come out of the dugout, there's more of a reprimand and things have changed. I don't know about that. I'm just shooting from the hip here. I am sick and tired of watching punk ass players talk to our players and our fans at the Tigue on a Friday night, and nothing happens. I'm sick of that. If that makes me a hot-headed fan, that's bullshit. I played baseball my entire life, and no, I didn't play at the D1 level before anybody wants to say that I wasn't good enough, unfortunately. But I would have clotheslined that kid coming around third base after that. I would have. I mean, a lot of guys would have. I think Jace would have done it. I think Steven would have done it. I think Danny Mazziotti might have tripped the dude just right after he started talking his shit.
I think next batter would have gotten a pitch behind
a message. He would have gotten a message. Yeah. And look, these tool players come in there with their goofy outfits. They don't respect the game. They're talking shit to our fans. At some point, who's going to get upset about that? It's like it doesn't happen anymore. I do not understand that. There's nothing raging or caging about that baseball team when that happens. Like, somebody has got to get mad enough to do something. Do you escalate the situation? Well, shit. We saw on Saturday, at least some of our fans decided to do something about it. Maybe the players can take a little bit of a page out of Brett's book. Hashtag fight like Brett. I know it became. But where's the fire? Where is the old water hose boys? Where's the Papo Ramos? Where's the history of a team that you're not going to walk in here on a Friday night and do that to us? I'm sorry. I'm still not over that. I'm not going to be over it. And under Deggs, we have not done that. Like, everybody used to talk about Tony getting older and softer in his age. Tony didn't hold the boys back when it was time. All right. You got to let the boys go out and eat. And if that means knocking somebody on their ass a few times, well, maybe that's the spark plug we need. I don't know, because Saturday we came out and really didn't do much better. I'm just sick and tired of watching punk ass teams like what we just saw walk into the Tigue on a Friday night and talk to our guys like what you're seeing right now, and we turn around and walk the other direction. I'm sick of that. We didn't grow up with that, Nick. We didn't. This is not Cajun baseball.
It was frustrating from our standpoint because there's nothing we could do about it, right? Because we're seeing it. And we want to respond. Look, and you talked about Robe. You call it getting softer. I think it's just getting older, and getting a little more mature. Because look, I mean, look at what happened at LSU in the regional in what was it, 2000, 2001? I think it might have been 2001, 2002. Went to their regional, and guy talked shit rounding third. The next batter up gets hit in the head. And I'm not saying you should hit a guy in the head, but
But
Rogue sent a message, right?
The game has policed itself for 300 years.
Right.
And now we can't hit guys with helmets on? I'm not saying to hit the dude in the face, but
throw it
send him a
behind his
damn
back,
message.
send a message. Right.
Send a message. What are we doing here? We just go back to playing ball. No, man. That's why guys are rolling in here and just taking advantage of our teams. We're not that gritty anymore. We're not that force when you walk into the Tigue on a Friday night anymore. But we got to show that. We got to put that on film. Like, guys need to be worried about coming here on a Friday night again. We don't have that right now. And that's upsetting to me. I'm sorry. We can talk about stats and we can talk about not getting hits with 2 outs and all that. From the very top of it all, the mentality of this program is not close to what it used to be.
I think the bigger problem that a lot of fans have is not that the mentality is not what it used to be. It's not what we're promised, right? Wolfpack, alpha males. We're not seeing a whole lot of that right now.
This dude talking about guerrilla warfare last week.
Right.
Guerrilla warfare? The guy is sticking his hands in your catcher's face. He's your team leader. He's a fan favorite in the park. And we turn around and walk into the dugout. That's not guerrilla warfare.
Lane, Friday night game. Your thoughts overall? I mean, we know the score was 4-3. Cajuns lose. Yeah. Didn't feel like it was 4-3. Felt more like it was 9-0. But talk about, before we get to the last play of the game, which we'll show in a bit, talk about that. You know, your thoughts on the Friday night game.
So I wasn't able to attend, but I saw all the replays and whatnot after the fact. And like Josh said, that play with Jose, if that was 5-6 years ago, somebody else is getting beamed, regardless of what happens, whether it's being thrown at his back, his ankles, whatever. And there wasn't any fight other than like Jose talking to him or talking back and forth or whatever. But other than that, there wasn't anything that happened. And I was surprised because normally you'd see that kind of thing. I mean, hell, MLB even does it to this day. So it was hard to fathom that nothing really happened.
You want to see something happen at your house, right? And it's like Josh brought up. I remember I was at that game, right? I was at that game when that guy punked us at Southern Miss. And I was pissed we didn't respond. I mean, we just kind of were just like, oh, he talked to us and nobody really challenged anything on it. And we went about our business. That was, it kind of, it was reminiscent of that, right? But let's go back to the last play of that game, Josh, because this was probably, and look, you could say, oh, well, by the book, it could be, he should have been, whatever, dude. You don't make that call. And I get it. Calls shouldn't be based on when in the game it is made, right? It should be making the correct call. If you made the same exact call earlier in the game and said it was not interference, and you did not go to our dugout and say, hey, they're bitching about it, keep an eye, because I'm going to be looking out for it. If that, and by the way, did not impede his ability to throw the ball because he threw a damn strike right where it was supposed to be.
Ball was on the bag.
He was not going,
Never
regardless of how that throw was going to be. He took off early. He was not going to beat that throw. Or he was going to beat that throw. There's no way he could have gotten him out. Instead, you let the clown behind the plate dictate the ending to that ball game. Let me go back. I just had it up, but let me go back to that play. I mean, it was obvious the guy, again, in my view, he interjected himself into the game at that point. And that's just unfortunate because you have a chance to come back under really wild circumstances and potentially tie the game at that point with a base hit. And look, these guys are even surprised. The guy's like, oh, what the hell? Oh,
Skylar Meade said in the post game, it's an unfortunate call and an unfortunate way to end the game right there. And if we can blow this up and go step by step, look, I know what the letter of the law says. The batter can't get his foot outside of the batter's box if it's not drawn. It's got 6 inches. It's a judgment. It is, at the end of the day, a judgment call. But if you pause it right when, you're not on the right, yeah. Pause it there, okay? So first of all, he's not crowding the plate. He's
correct.
Clearly in the box. It is an action situation, so you got a runner in motion, and it's a hit and run, right? So if you go just a frame further, He swings, he follows through. His momentum is already leaning. He takes a half step, and he is barely outside of the line.
By the
Catcher
way,
is
I'm tired
in
of
his throwing motion.
I'm tired of people saying he was on the plate. He was not on the plate, bro.
He wasn't on the plate, and he took a half step. It's not like he fell into the lane at all. And you see here, catcher's already reared back and ready to go. Ball will be delivered. Go ahead, Nick. Ball's
All right,
delivered. First of
look
all,
look where he is right
sidearms
there.
the ball.
Right.
He sidearms the ball, and the ball's on the bag. There is absolutely no catcher interference. Absolutely none, period. It's a judgment
Not
call.
our fault
I
that
get
the
it.
dude missed the freaking pitch.
Right.
You are allowed as a batter to follow through on your swing. No batter can take an intentional hack with a ball out the zone and not fall over the batter's box. Doesn't happen. It's impossible. So now I think it's fair. We got to mention we didn't lose the game because of that call. I don't think.
No,
I mean,
absolutely not. But you
obviously
had a
you're still
chance in
in
the
the
end,
game.
bro. That's what pisses me off. You had a chance to like, do something special there, and you had that opportunity taken away from you. I think
Sure.
that's what pisses me off more.
But you're still tying the game, even if you get a clutch hit right there.
Right.
You're tying the game. This here, we didn't do enough to put ourselves in a position to win the game before that. However, the call is atrocious based on everything you see in this replay. And I'm sorry, man. Like, if we can't get these videos sent into the league office and they review them and something is done, then we're cooked as a league. This is a top 5 RPI baseball league, and we can't get basic stuff. Do you think the league, with all these games now being on television, want a game to end like that between two of its top, most recognizable brands?
We can't even get 4 umpires at our games, bro.
No, that's just a joke.
And by the way, they missed a call today. I sent it in the group text that they called it a foul ball that would have been extra bases and scored some runs. It was not a foul ball. The ball landed in play, but because the guy was between second and third, he was in front of second base, he couldn't see it, so he couldn't make the right call.
Are you talking about Brooks Wright?
I think it was
yesterday?
Wright. It was either Wright or Higgs. Either one. There was a ball that was hit right down the line, would have been extra bases, would have scored a run or two.
Yeah.
I might have to pull that one up because it was clearly, when you go back, slow it down, look at it, it landed. There was no part of that ball that was in foul territory. Nothing.
I agree with you. That was yesterday.
They called it foul.
But we said it on our side that at least I did, that it landed on the line. I did not think. And typically when it lands, those pellets will bounce up. And when it landed on the white, no pellets from the red side bounced up. And I said, that's a fair ball. And in that moment, we had runners in scoring position. I think we had a guy on second base. 2 out. It would have been a clutch hit. It would have kept our inning going. And obviously, they called it foul, and then he ended up making it out. Still, man, Stelly, thank you, Kev. It was Stelly yesterday, late in the inning. I think maybe it was 7th inning.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Would have been an RBI double, kept the inning going. And it's small stuff like that. And look, I'm not trying to say the umpires cost us this series. I certainly do not believe that. I thought Troy was a better team, and I thought they played better baseball, albeit doing it in a tool baggy way. But they did. They hit the baseball around the field. Now, I would love to know how 40-degree launch angle fly balls are just soaring out of the park in one of the biggest hitter parks. Everybody knows. Historically, this is a hitter's park. I would love to know why the bat sounded the way that it did and pop flies were just flying out of the Tigue all weekend.
A long time
ago, they accused us of hot bats, and they rolled our bats, or they accused us of rolling our bats.
Bro. Every game.
Hey, maybe the league needs to look at it. I'm not saying they cheated, but I'm not saying they didn't. Maybe we need to look at that because balls are just flying out of the park, 408 to center. I'm just saying, man.
I mean,
today I got a lot
we could
this
maybe
week,
make. I think today you can make the argument. Yeah, every ball flew out of the park, but the Tigue is not a hitter's ballpark. And they were making routine fly balls.
When the ball pops off the bat, Oppo, and you don't hear a sound, and then it goes 420, yeah,
something.
When the ball is literally 46-degree launch angle and it's a pop up, I mean, I'm not accusing them of it, but I'm not saying that they were on the up and up. Like maybe somebody should look at it. Is all I'm saying.
I like my koozie, man. I'm telling you, these are the best. You press them down. Anyway, I don't want to get in trouble. Don't want to get banned. Cajunomics already did. Don't want to take that route. All right, so moving on to the Saturday game. Cajuns fall again to Troy 8-5. Again, a little more offense. Cajuns getting 11 hits, 5 runs, but could not, it seemed like it early in the game. Obviously, we go up 4-1. You're feeling good about yourself. Then what Troy, I think, did a good job of in this entire series, with most times that we scored runs, they responded with something. So we go up 4-1 in the third. We score 2 runs at the bottom of the third. They come back and score 2 runs, so it's 4-3. And then they score 3 runs at the top of the fifth. And then kind of you felt like it was almost out of reach at that point because, again, we're getting singles, we're getting solo home runs, but we're not getting clutch hitting like we have in the past. And then some of the shenanigans, and this is what happens. I know the beat writer for Troy kind of gave me shit on Twitter for saying this, but when players start engaging with fans and not in a just like, kind of a pitcher comes off the mound and says, yeah, make some noise. But like when it's a consistent thing across your entire lineup that the fans are chirping with you, but then you start chirping back with them, that creates a really, really tense atmosphere that I think a head coach, and look, I like Skylar Mead. He gave us a great interview. I think he's a good dude. I think he's a young guy. He reminds me a lot of a young
a ton
girl.
of respect. I got a ton of
respect for that guy.
And he's a competitor. Again, I'm not mad at him at all.
But he's a player's coach, right? He's a player.
That's right.
He's coaching as a player. So when you coach that way, your players are going to respond that way. And I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not going to shit on the guy for it. But what you learn, and watching college baseball for 20 plus years, I've learned when players start taking that personality of the coach and then start chirping back with the fans, that kind of stuff happens. You want to, and I think that's something maybe Mead will learn after this weekend is like, hey, maybe I need to tell those guys to shut the F up and just play your game instead of engaging with Section A, because that's what fans do in every ballpark. And you're not supposed to, as a player, engage back with them all 3 games of the series, because what we saw later in the game and Saturday was a perfect encapsulation of why you don't do that. But we'll get to that in a second. Before we do, Josh, just the game itself, give me your thoughts. I'll pull up the, like I said, you still, it was 8-5, but you never felt like we were really in it after we gave up the lead. Once we give up a lead, it almost feels like it's out of reach for us at this point of the season. Today was obviously different, and I'm happy of how it went, but you just felt when we gave up those 2 runs at the top of the fourth, like, oh crap, here we go. And it kind of turned out that way.
What is really unfortunate, and kind of to circle back to what you just said, I love the hate and the tense atmosphere, and I love that, man. It makes it fun to go to the ballpark. I know everybody was either frustrated or angry or happy today or whatever, but you felt something at the game. That's what it's all about. You felt something. You were excited. You were emotionally tethered to what happened Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think that is a major positive. It's something that we've largely lost in college athletics with the changes of conferences and new rivalries coming in and having to restart with some of them. I'm thrilled. And it's funny because you forget how much you hate Troy and how douchey they are. You forget about it. And then all of a sudden they show up to the park and you go, oh yeah, these are the guys that wear their baseball pants up their ass. I forgot about that. So it reminds you of how much you hate that. But talking about the game, all right? I thought that J.R. Tillett was excellent. And I know his line doesn't look great. What did he go 4? He went 4, gave up 8 hits and 6 earned runs. God, that sucks because a couple of 2-out big hits. Brian hits one over the wall. I think Schrader hit one out on Saturday. There's a couple of big moments where he's right on the precipice of getting out of a big inning or getting out of some hot grease. And then, here comes Troy with their juice bats. I'm kidding. But it just seemed like every
halfway
time.
Kidding.
Halfway, 20%. It just seemed like every time JR had gotten himself into a situation, he was working his way out and then boom, something would happen. And I hated that for him because I thought multiple times throughout his start, man, this is a guy you can go to war with. And I still believe that. I think that as we move into later in the season, and obviously I think at this point, and maybe not, maybe today changed things, but I think if we're hedging, we're thinking that we're building towards the conference tournament. It's still early to say that really, but I like J.R. Tillett coming out of a loser bracket game. I thought that guy battles for the second week in a row, and really he's been really, really good as his progression has continued. But I really liked him. I thought Grabe did well. I didn't think pitching was all that big of a problem. Yes, I know we gave up the runs. I know we gave up 6 runs. I know it's tough. Here's the thing. We didn't get a whole lot of help behind the plate. Borderline calls, borderline moments where we didn't help ourselves, issues in the field that didn't typically, didn't get called errors, but typically you make those plays. I didn't think pitching was, I know that that's going to sound crazy because we gave up I think we gave up 8 runs. I thought that we were right there. We were so close on the mound. I don't think pitching was the issue Saturday. I think that the ability for our offense to come through in moments where you've got the 2 outs, but you got runners in scoring position and you have the ability to break it open, it continues to fleet. It continues to be a fleeting thing for us. And that's it, man. You continue to put pressure on your pitcher when you can't deliver. And as much as Tillett delivered and as much as the other guys, it was Grabe. And who was the other pitcher? Can you give me those stats? Grabe and
yeah, let me pull that back up to you. Sorry about there we go. We had Grabe,
Riley
had
Marcotte, who was really good.
Yeah.
He was really good. Just a couple of moments that we just let it get away from us, but the bats did not help out the pitching.
You
Solo
gotta help
homer
them
when we're
out.
down 4. I mean, it does
Exactly.
nothing. It does nothing, and Top said something today on the broadcast that really aggravated me. He said, we're so close. And it's aggravating that when you feel like you're so close. I don't think that we felt like we were very close. At no point in the season do I feel like we thought we were really close. I think that we've been trying to figure things out all over the field. I think that our pitching has been sky high and down low. I feel like our offense has been largely putrid. I don't think anybody would argue with that. I talked to Lee Amade's dad last night, and I'm not going to say exactly what the conversation was, but I basically told him, man, it's been a struggle on offense. And he looked at me like, you think? So it's been rough. And I think the players know it. The guys around the program know it. Our fans know it. I don't think we're close, but I do think we're figuring out individuals. Brooks Wright's a star. Brooks Wright needs to play every day, needs to be in center field, period, end of story. Stop moving him around the lineup. Stop taking him out of the lineup. If he's hurt, that's one thing. But this experiment in center field, it's over. We figured that out. And there are a few others. Lee got a big hit today. I know we're not on Sunday, so I'll wait. But Saturday, we just couldn't get the hit when we needed it to put pressure back on Troy. We did it today on Sunday. We didn't do it on Saturday.
Lane, before we get to the extracurricular activity on Saturday, your thoughts about the game?
Yeah, it was a struggle trying to get timely hits as usual. And like Josh said, the pitching was on yesterday, but we just couldn't string anything together to get the offense going. And it was unfortunate because I thought with the way that Friday ended, I thought the guys would have some fight in them and come back and trying to get the win.
Thank you for
on
saying
Saturday,
that.
But it just didn't turn out that way, unfortunately.
Well,
now,
we continue
fans on the other hand had something else, but
yeah, we're about to get to that. But it continues to be I'm tired of getting punked, man. And I think you are too, Josh. I think that's what we said the other day. We're just freaking tired of getting punked.
Sick of it. But what Lane said is listen, this is what needs to be said. Everybody, I feel like, in our circles and in our groups, people we talk to, fans that we know, we all thought the way that game ended Friday night and the way that everything happened and rolled over to Saturday, we thought, okay, this is going to be where we see this team come out and punch back. That's what I thought. And the only punching happened under the concourse. It wasn't on the field.
All right. Well, it looks like we might have a call in to the show. So let me go ahead and pause for a second before we move on. What's up? It's Rage and Review. How's it going?
Hey, great. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing well. Who we talking to?
This is Kent.
What's up, Kent? What's on your mind, man?
Hey, well, this is on my mind. Y'all just talking about Brooks Wright. We talked about this sitting in our seats with me and my brothers. Brooks Wright needs to be our leadoff guy.
Brooks Wright is a man.
I love it.
He needs to hit in the 1 hole right now. Not buried down in the 8 hole. I mean, he gets on base. He can lay down a bunt. He can get on. He does everything you want in a leadoff hitter. What y'all think?
You're not going to hear any argument, Josh. I know you're dying to comment on this, so tell Kent what you think, bro.
Well, Kent knows. Brooks Wright's a ball player. He can do everything. He can do anything you ask him to do, and he doesn't have any qualms with it. You want him to lay down a bunt? Yes, sir. You want me to put one in the gap? Yes, sir. You want me to go oppo? Yes, sir. He hits the ball where it's pitched. Yep. He's a freaking gritty outfielder.
That might be a little before your time, Josh. You might have Feehan.
It wasn't before
Stephen
my
Feehan
time,
is
brother.
my hero, buddy. Stephen Feehan is how I built my career in baseball, just fighting people on the field.
Okay, great. Hey, another thing, we come to the conclusion. We need Nick back with the sound effects.
Yes, please, because
the
sound effects are
more
awful.
what they used to be.
Is it that
What
bad?
you think
man?
about that, Nick?
Hey, let me tell you something. If y'all could pay my salary and move me back to Lafayette, I'm in, baby. But we might have to have a couple auctions for that, because those jerseys.
I'm gonna pass the hat next game, brother. I'm passing the hat next game. Get you back.
That's good.
Don't
bring
tell
the
the
raffle
IRS. Don't tell the IRS, man.
All right.
That's gonna be trouble.
Hey, all right. Yeah, have a great day.
Thanks again
All
for
right,
dialing
yeah.
in. Appreciate it. I'm glad he
Bring
called
back
in.
the 50-50.
That's right. I forgot to mention that we are taking calls. 866-454-RAGE. So that was cool to hear from Kent today. Got a couple other guys that promised they would call in. We'll see Justin Johnson. Hate to say, don't see throwdown in this team. I don't know, Josh. I mean,
Can we talk about that?
well, before we talk about that, because we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to ask you, was that throwdown that we saw today or not? So hold that thought. We will get to it. I do want to wrap up Saturday with a couple of things that I want to show. First of all, before we get to the big episode, it was this call, second play of the game, or really the first play on the bases, where the same guy at second base that made the call behind the plate that said it was not interference, or excuse me, said it was interference. Look at this play. It's going to play a couple times, but watch the Troy player grab his leg as he's sliding in. And when we question whether or not it was interference, the guy from the previous night who called interference on the last play, that was not even only questionable, it was a terrible call, says this was an interference. How is grabbing a player's leg as he's sliding into second base not interference, Josh? Explain that to me, because I can't figure that one out.
We need to get fact checker Lane to get Ian on the line, because Ian will give you the technical definition of what is a interference. But technically, he didn't go out of the line. He didn't go out of the baseline. So maybe that's the call. I think if you grab a person trying to throw the ball to first base, that should be interference. So I don't know. Ian would probably be able to tell us better. But I just, it's funny because it happened literally. What was it? Second batter of the game?
It was the second batter of the game. That's what was so funny. It's like the same guy has the opportunity to make the same call, the right call this time, and no, not interference.
We always say call it both ways. That didn't happen.
Well, the guy also looks like he's 12 years old, so I don't know that he's I don't know, man. I'm just going to stay away from that one. All right, let's get to the fun point. So, of course, Justin was talking about our fans not having, or our players not having throwdown. Our fans definitely had some throwdown. I can't really enlarge this too much. Let me back out of it a little bit. I'm just screwing this all up. But yeah, let's talk about that. So a little bit of a ruckus caused behind home plate, where if you've seen this on social media, you can see that a Troy guy cheap shots one of our fans, goes back for a second shot, and then I call him the hero of the day. Brett comes in and gives him the business down there, as the NFL officials would say. Again, when I go back to how it was when you start getting the chirping between fans and players, and then the players continue to do it, and you saw it Saturday especially, because the first baseman, telling people to make more noise when he makes a play and kind of chirping back, and then it escalated through other players. You guys got guys like this who come in, and Josh, I guess I'll let you tell a little more of the story, because I know some people said it was in the concession line. These were actually guys who were walking into a box seat. Troy fans walking into one of our fans' box seats, like talking crap, standing behind them. These fans are trying to tell them to move on. And then for some reason, one guy catches a stray, as you'll see at the beginning. I mean, this dude's catching strays. He's not even part of the argument. And then everything escalates, Josh. I don't know what more to say about it. I mean, it was just a bad situation. And, that guy ended up in jail. Can't say I feel terrible about it.
Didn't he have a warrant out in Alabama? So they ended up
Yeah, he did.
extraditing his ass.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Well, look.
So
first of all,
he didn't spend jail. I got it wrong. I thought he spent the night in jail in Lafayette. No, they took his ass back to Alabama to spend some time in jail. So
that's so great.
he didn't catch today's game.
It's so perfectly Troy. They had fugitives at our game. It's perfect. But you got it. Before we get into the weeds on this video, you got to give it to Brett. He chugs the beer. He sets the beer down. And then he like hops and smacks the dude. It's perfect.
Well, the beer was probably like $40.
You got to conserve the beer. So shout out to Brett for thinking quickly on his toes. But look, I mean, he pops the guy, and then the guy keeps going after our fans, and then Brett grabs him and gives him another one. He two-pieces him. So look, this is why I love our fans. Our fans are not going to sit here and deal with this stuff. I think it was 2021. Landry and I were sitting down below, and this Troy fan kept running into the box, running his mouth off, and it was like multiple times, not one time. So we politely asked him to go away. I think that's what I said. Maybe Ryan can remind me of the words that I used, but we got thrown out because of this freaking idiot Troy fan. I completely forgot about that until this weekend. But it's the same thing. They have their fans come down, they get a beer, and then they go into where the premium boxes are, and they're hollering and screaming, and they're in there, and they're all – you know what's funny to me is that when our fans go down to watch the game, the ushers will tell them, hey, you need to step back behind this line.
Oh, you got yeah, there's no way you can get through that, bro.
It's like the nuclear code is on the other side of this line. You can't be here. But when Troy's here, they can be in the box, basically sitting in the chairs, no problem. But they're causing problems, and you can see right now how it turns out. But shout out to Brett for just smoking this guy who deserved to get his ass whooped. And, he's having a good day in Alabama sitting in a holding cell. So good for him. I don't know what happened with Brett, but I do know I wanted to say this. We need to start a GoFundMe to get Brett another jersey because his number 5 got ripped in the melee. Look at this. Look at this. Sets the beer down.
Troy guy. Watch the Troy guy. He puts his 2 beers down and was like, yeah, I don't want to do anything, so I'm gonna just oh shit, there's something's going on. Let me just casually put this down. Okay.
He's busy.
Okay.
He's too busy to get involved with this. I'm moving as fast as I can.
Though. I respect that because I ain't getting my ass in a fight. First of all, I can't fight. I've never been in one. Don't plan on being in one. But that's me, bruh. I'm out. This ain't for me.
That's great. And dude in the backwards hat looked like the problem guy. The big guy was like, I'm gonna start the fight, and I think he was relying on his big meathead friend to do something. Meathead was like, nah, you got this.
I don't know, man. That was something. I mean, I've watched this like 100 times. It never gets old, bro.
It's funny every time.
Never gets old. Ryan Landry calling in as he promised. Ryan, what's going on, brother?
What's up? Y'all hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. Yeah, you're live. What's going on?
I just wanted to chime in on that whole situation in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 21. I think it was during COVID, and we were sitting down there, and it was the same parents that were doing the same shit. They hoot and holler all game, and they talk shit, and they say the stupidest shit, and then they get pissed off whenever we tell them, kind of calm down or whatever. And kind of going back to the point of, like, we can't even stand up back there, but then they kind of let the Troy fans do whatever, then you get shit like this happening. But, it goes back many, many years with me and the Troy guys. I got into it at a conference tournament in South Alabama. I think it was 06 or 07, and it hadn't been the same. And it's been the same ever since. So it's always going to be, to me, it's going to be fuck Troy and fuck their trashy ass fans.
I was telling Josh about this earlier. It's you see it with certain fan bases like McNeese. There's been some incidents at the Tigue with McNeese. Sam Houston, when we hosted a regional, they like completely lost their minds over something. It's almost like the certain FCS teams like Troy never lose the FCS fans. It's almost like a high school fan base. And I'm not saying this for all Troy fans. I mean, I'm sure they've got great fans. This is a subset of people that we continue to engage with, but it's almost like they never get out of that FCS type of mentality.
But Nick, they do it on purpose. Look at the players. Their players are instigators. In football, they would try to hurt our guys when they'd come down here.
I remember
Baseball
that, yeah.
does it. Basketball is always some shit on the court. It's not isolated. Their
not new.
program is allowed to operate this way. Their higher ups think it's fine, and then the parents come down here and they do the same thing. It's year in and year out. Doesn't matter the sport. Always.
They had a couple of players the last few years that were actually from Lafayette. So their parents. I don't think he's on the team anymore, but his parents were at the game last night, sitting behind. 2 nights ago, sitting behind us, and there was no issue with them, but it was the same from the video. Like, I recognize these guys from 5 years ago. Like, what are they still doing over here? Like, what? I don't know. It just, they're never going to change, and shit like that just pisses me off. I'm glad I wasn't down there, but I kind of wish that I was at the same time.
Ryan, one of the New Orleans Bowl, I mean, I guess Southern Miss might have played Troy when they were in Conference USA in the New Orleans Bowl. It was something, I remember reading something from a USM fan that said, that's the same guy that we got arrested on Bourbon Street because he was starting shit with our fans.
Shocker.
Like, why is this guy still around? Like, why is the program told him to F off? Now, you can't tell the guy he can't travel to Lafayette, Louisiana, but like, when this starts,
the state of Alabama can, because the dude had a warrant.
Look at this dude. I mean, come on. But if you notice, do you see the woman in the green shirt? She's security, okay? So that is trying to break up some verbal stuff going on. And as soon as the guy throws the punch, I'm out. So, I mean, why do you have a 5'3" woman in the middle of that? That's insane.
Because people don't come here and act like that.
Well, this is true, because we don't have these problems, right, Ryan? We don't have these freaking problems.
The same group of their fans stay in the same spot every year, and they do the same shit, and then we get in trouble. I don't understand that,
Justice for Brett. We need to come up with some T-shirts or something, like Free Brett or something. I don't know.
Fight like Brett, and we need to GoFundMe.
And Brett. And Brett, I don't know Brett. I only know a few people in Section 8, but just watching that video, like, I mean, how can you not say that dude is not a good friend?
Exactly.
He throws his beer, like you said, he throws the beer down and he starts throwing down. Like I said in the group chat earlier, the only thing that he did wrong in that was that he didn't keep swinging after the first lick. He should have just kept on going.
I mean, he took a whole swing before he threw. I'm just noticing that now.
That's
Dude,
legendary, man.
Chugged it and was like, now let's go. Dude, Brett commented after. He's like, dude, I've never been in a fight in my life. But he saw his friend like get cheap shot because apparently the guy who got hit wasn't even a part of the argument. He was just standing there kind of watching everything. And this guy decided, easy target, let's throw a punch. Crazy. I'm glad it wasn't you, Ryan, but I did see you walking behind after. You walking behind being nosy. Yeah.
So it was right after the 7th inning stretch, and we were already kind of on the edge of leaving or whatnot. And then, like, where we were sitting, you could kind of see everybody turning around. You couldn't see the actual fight, but you could see some commotion. So from the reaction, I was like, I bet somebody's down there fighting with one of the Troy fans. That was my first thing that I said to the people that were sitting next to me. I said, I bet that's a Troy fan starting shit. And that's exactly, whenever we walk down there, that's exactly what happened. And it's just not surprising, but like I said, I kind of wish that I would have been down there, but I'm kind of glad that I was.
Look, even better. Brett just chimed in. He said the security guard told the 92-year-old man with a cane to move back on Friday night from that box, but never told the Troy fan to move at any point. That's is that shocking?
Typical.
It's not shocking. We shit on our own people. That's what we do. That's what we do, man. Ryan, how much Woodford have you had today, buddy?
Not enough.
I know you sound pretty tame. I expected you to be a little wild there.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm still kind of pissed off from last night. Kind of had to take it easy today, but yeah, that Troy, they just really pissed me off. I don't really know what else to say.
Well, piss Josh off.
If I mix Woodford with that, it won't be a good day for anybody around here.
Hey, Ryan's how I found out about Brett, because he sends me a picture of Brett sitting
I know, we got that picture.
You know that little lobby area before you go up the elevator?
I guess it's a holding cell now.
It is basically a holding cell.
Yeah,
So
well,
he's cuffed in there.
I didn't know what we hadn't seen the video yet, and from what people were telling me, they were saying, well, somebody from Troy had beat up one of the guys and they jumped him and this and that, and then I was passing by as we were walking out and I saw that and I was like, because I recognize him. Like I said, I don't know Brett. I recognize him from the games, but it's just like, man, you know, then you see the video and it's so ridiculous. Whenever they don't police the way that they're supposed to, shit like this happens.
I agree, brother. All right, Ryan. Well, you want to hold on because we're about to get into Sunday. Do you want to comment on anything from today's game? Because we're about to get into it, brother.
Man, look, the only thing I'll say about today is I'm glad that we won. I'm glad that we salvaged one. But the only thing that we should have did was put a freaking baseball in 34's ear hole. That's the only disappointing thing about today.
Josh is nodding his head. I can't say I disagree with you. I mean, I'm not a violent man, but, you know, baseball polices itself.
Hey, don't be a dick. You won't get a ball in the head.
Correct.
I mean, that's a long written rule.
Well, he even the way that he runs and he kind of prances. He reminds me of Danny Litch. Everything about him is Danny Litch.
Yeah, it's all about me. Look at me. Look at me. Look how great I am. Me.
Yeah.
Ryan, you know he played for the Savannah Bananas, right?
Wait, this guy did? Well, that's not surprising.
Fact checker Lane could look it up, but Cavill he definitely played for the Savannah Bananas.
That explains so much, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he moves like a freaking fruit pot, so that ain't surprising at all.
Dude said he moves like a. Oh, Ryan, we need you on more, man. Why don't you call in more? This is fun.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm just so mad about this weekend. Baseball just kind of has me depressed so far this year. But you know, if we can get on, like, I just don't want to call in and bitch about shit because I think that we do have the ability to turn it around. And whether or not we're going to do it, I don't know. I don't think we've shown too much lately. But I just kind of been a little bit depressed. That's about it. From the end of football season, the way that ended, the way the basketball was, just hadn't been fun lately. And then, you know, even I'm not a big softball guy, but, you know, softball sucks too right now. So it's like nothing really to talk about.
By the way, before we go on to Sunday's game, I do want to ask you because, you know, you have ties to the program. Your thoughts on Quantas White? I saw a jet leaving Lafayette today. Our AD was kind of pimping that out on Twitter, but showing a private jet. Obviously, that's to go pick up Quantas White for his big introduction tomorrow. Your thoughts on the coaching hire, man?
Well, I think that as of right now, you know, I think it's a home run hire. I mean, you say that about anybody really, but you know, you got a guy who was a fantastic point guard who went to the Final Four under the guy who he's coaching with now for the past, going on 9 years. I know Kelvin Sampson, he hadn't won a national championship, but he's been close a few times. I think he's one of the best coaches in college basketball, and
all-timer.
And to learn under him and the type of system that he runs and the type of system that Houston has, I don't think that you could say that this is any kind of a bad hire. I think he'll attract the type of players that we need, especially the point guards that we need to run his system. I think we'll be nasty on the boards and on defense, and I think we'll get after it because that's just the type of system that he's been under with Sampson. And yeah, I mean, I like it. You know, I wasn't sure at first, but you know, whenever his name first got brought up, but I mean, you know, we talked about all kind of different names, and it was kind of like it's probably he might be the guy, but you know, talk about some other guys. But now that I've actually got to kind of process everything, I think it's going to be a really good hire.
I think from a coaching standpoint, he's like you. Who are you going to find better, man? I mean, I think from a coaching standpoint, yes. I think the jury is out on how he approaches NIL and the community. I think that is what we want to see. Yeah. And I think when we hear from him tomorrow, that might give us a little bit of a glimpse at what he has planned, because he's not a loud guy. He's not a HUD. But you don't have to be a HUD to engage the fan base and to get people excited about Cajuns basketball again.
Well, that was my only question about him. I don't know the guy. I've never spoken to him. I haven't heard him speak. So I didn't know what kind of personality he has. But if you go on the Twitter comments, on the Facebook comments, every single Houston fan that commented on it was saying how much they liked him, how much he deserved it, how good of a guy he was. So I think if you combine that with what he's been through the last 9 years with Samson, I think it's a home run. I think it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, hopefully so. Like I said, I think he's a little soft spoken from what I've seen, but you don't have to be a guy out there. I mean, Napier was soft spoken, but we had people that go out and try to get rally the troops and get some NIL money, well, more sponsor money at that point, but we'll see how he approaches it. Excited to see what tomorrow brings from him. All right, let's move on to Saturday. And look, Brian, hang on there if you want to talk more. We're going to get on to the Sunday game. Josh, I don't think I have to really say anything. I mean, it was obvious we go down early in the game, and I think we all mailed it in at that point. The whole group chat was like, we suck again. And then all of a sudden, we're leading by, 8 or 9 runs, and then we give up that lead, and it was back and forth, and you kind of felt like it would do that. Like, I get that you want to win. I get when you have this huge lead, when you're up 16 to whatever it was, like you're expecting to run away with it, but you knew Troy was going to come back and hit the ball, especially with the way the wind was blowing. I'll give you first comment on this, Josh. Your thoughts on today's game?
Well, first of all, I thought the freshmen played well. You saw Carson Hepworth had a few quality at bats. I thought his presence at the plate was good. Obviously, Brooks Wright is an everyday guy, needs to be in the lineup, and I agree with Kent. If he's going to be in the lineup, may as well make him the leadoff guy. He just makes the offense go. Great to see Uhas get off and have a day where he's just a presence at the plate, hitting the ball around the park, using his power, having smart at bats, not swinging at balls out of the zone. It was good to see that. Higgy got a couple of big hits, none bigger than that 3-run bomb that really put us over the hump. Broke the solo homer streak finally, which is probably one of the most bizarre college baseball stats in history.
Crazy.
15 solo bombs to start a year. So weird. I hope Jose's okay. I know he got hit on the hand, and we absolutely cannot lose him. That would be the biggest injury of all on the team. But overall, let's be honest. Before everybody thinks we're the Bronx Bombers, let's be honest. Troy gave us a lot today. Walks, errors, wild pitches, lots of things that we haven't gotten from them on Friday and Saturday. And honestly, on the weekend, we really haven't gotten a lot of freebies of any series that we've played. So you got to talk about that. We had plenty of opportunities from Troy. They gave us some chances. But the difference is today we cashed in on those opportunities. That was the big difference. We got hits with runners in scoring position. We got hits with 2 outs. Who's going to get, nobody's going to be upset with scoring 18 runs. And that's not at all what I'm trying to say. But I'm just saying, like, we did hit the ball around the park today, which was great. Did Troy run out of pitching? Maybe. I thought the guy they started had good stuff. I thought we just put some really good quality at bats together. And then we capitalized on their mistakes. So good on the offense for doing that. When you have a 9-run lead, typically you like to put them away. When you're going into the 7th inning with a 9-run lead, you don't want to give up 7 more runs before you get to the point where you need to score more to feel good about winning in the 9th. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot to say. It was a SWAT game today. A SWAT game broke out in this conference series.
Josh, how many pitches did Herman throw on Friday night, and how many did he throw today?
Well, so he threw 20 today. I'll go back and look at the other stat, but he threw 20 today.
And you saw he wasn't sharp today. And now I was going to actually say that they had 8 left-handed hitters in their lineup, and to go lefty on a Friday, I don't understand that. Maybe they were throwing it all in to get the Friday win, and then we'll figure it out Saturday and Sunday. That's tough for me. I'm not using my 2 best left-handed pitchers.
Is there a reason why Herman wouldn't start Friday? I was kind of confused as why he was going to come out of the pen and then throw 5 however many innings he did. Why didn't he start?
They're almost treating him like he's hurt. It's weird.
Right, but then they go throw him,
But then they throw him back
twice in 3 days,
Sunday,
right?
Today.
But the thing is with Herman, he doesn't throw stress pitches, so I get that. Like he's not, he can throw more pitches than a typical pitcher, but with Holzhammer, Holzhammer threw 94 pitches in 3 innings. Okay. 3 innings and 94 pitches. Holzhammer is a reliever that we're plugging into a starter. And you're not going to get more than 3 innings out of Holzhammer. I mean, that's just what he is. He is really, really good in middle relief. But as a starter, he's going to give you limited innings. We saw that. 94 pitches in 3 innings. Herman comes in. He pitched 74 pitches, and none of them were really high-stress pitches, in my opinion, because that's just not the type of pitcher he is. Then he came in through 20 today. So, I mean, he threw 100 pitches in 3 days. That's really not that crazy. But with a guy that you're worried about his health, I don't know. Josh?
His career high before Friday was 45 pitches in a D1 outing. And he threw 94 pitches. Are you talking about Herman?
Or are you talking about?
Yeah. No. Holzhammer.
Holzhammer. Yeah.
45 pitches career high. And he threw 94 and 3 in the third.
Didn't you say the other night that he lost like 5 miles per hour on his fastball from like the first to the third inning?
Yeah, that was last week, right?
Did you say that? Somebody said that. I don't know if it was one of you guys, but that just tells me right there that he's not a starting pitcher.
And it's okay that he's not a starting pitcher, but what other options do you have at this point?
He has a violent delivery. Delivery. You're going to fatigue. It's just how it is. That's why Demo couldn't be a starter. It was the same thing.
Correct. But Lane, you want to break the news on what we heard directly from Simo? Do you want to talk about that today?
He's back.
He's back. Week. He said he's definitely coming back next weekend. So I think that solves that issue. But I think right now we're just trying to piece it together.
I think that we're trying to piece it together too. But Herman was the matchup for a left-handed hitting team. You saw what he did. He cut him up.
Yep.
I don't necessarily think Holzhammer. Now it's easy to say this in hindsight, but I don't necessarily think Hammer was the greatest matchup. And he only went 3 innings.
The thing with Hammer is that the inside corner to left-handed batters, he was not getting the call. That guy would not give him that call. He would give that same exact spot to a right-handed batter. But to a left-handed batter, he would not give that spot. And he did a really good job of hitting that corner, but he just would not get the call. And that extended his time on the mound. So I kind of get that. But again, on a perfect night, I don't think you're still getting more than 3, maybe 4 innings out of Hammer. I mean, I think that he's perfect for middle, late relief, but as a starter, I think we're just trying to put some guys out there that give us the best position to win, to get off to a good start on Friday. I think that was the strategy. Yeah.
I think Chase totally changes the game Friday. I'm not saying we win, but I'm saying it's a completely different ball game. And then you move Herm to Saturday, and now you got a totally different series.
Correct.
And people can say what they want, and they can say it's an excuse. I'm telling you right now that Chase Morgan is an elite pitcher. He is, period.
He's an All-American, bro.
Series. Yeah. He's an All-American. He completely changes the face of a team. So, look, if we see this team in a couple of months down the road in the tournament, I feel good with what we have in Herm and Chase. You see, that's funny because that's something I would say, Kent. Hammer said he's a starter, so he's definitely one because he told Dex that. But.
Yeah, he told him that. Your guys' thoughts about losing the big lead? I mean, I'm not that concerned about it because, I mean, obviously we ended up winning, but the guys came back and fought. In games like this, you're going to give up a lot of runs. Like you saw, to me, I saw the writing on the wall. When we went up by however many runs, I'm like, oh, they're coming. They're going to score some runs, but our ability to come back and get the job done. And look, 6 flags over Jesus is what I like to call Osteen. He did a good job. He came in, got the job done. Wait.
What was that?
6 flags over Jesus. Osteen.
6 flags over Jesus.
Joel Osteen. 6 flags over Jesus.
We gotta make Osteen jokes. We have to make them. We gotta find some good ones.
Relation, right?
No. We looked it up. His uncle is named Joel Osteen. Now, there is some confusion on who might be Joel Osteen, if it's the preacher or some other guy from like Mississippi or something. But it doesn't matter. That's not fun. We're gonna roll with it.
Well, I'm calling him 6 flags over Jesus for the rest of the season, so he'll just have to deal with that. But I mean, he got the job done in the last inning, in a third today. And hey, I know, Josh, you had some questions about him, but he shut the door. He did it. He got it done, man.
When you come out with a religious song, I'm definitely gonna have some questions. But look, Big giant balls today. Slam the door.
We're now judging players on the walkout song.
Let me tell you something. Since 2014, the walkout songs have been atrocious, and we haven't been back to a super.
But
I'm just saying.
I think Deggs picks the walkout songs now, doesn't he?
I don't know. That's just. I think it's Bab actually.
No way.
I've heard he does that. I don't know.
I think it's Bab, Ryan.
It might be Bab.
No.
I don't know. That would be some Bab shit.
Case, we got bigger issues.
Totally agree.
We
gotta fix this problem. The walkout music's got to be better. We got too many Lady Gagas in the lineup.
I'm telling you, that somebody, they're not picking that song. Somebody is. It ain't them. Because I remember, God, do you remember? I posted it on Twitter. Robe had handwritten the walkout songs for the players. And he was like, Lil Kiki and like all these. And just watching Robe.
What is Sam Ardoin's walkout?
Hey, baby. Hurricane
song.
Chris.
Hey, baby.
So you telling me Deggs picked out A Baby for Sam Ardoin?
Dude, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I need to get to the bottom of this. We need an investigation. Where's Chris Nakamoto? What is his name? Chris Nakamoto needs to get on this.
But no, we definitely have a problem with walkout songs. It was actually nice to hear the Irish music today.
We got a Lady Gaga.
That was better.
Dore, really? Delete him from the group chat. Hold on.
Tell
somebody
Dore to shut his
delete
freaking mouth?
Delete him.
Shut your mouth, Dore.
No, he's deleted. Gaga defender. You kidding me? That's worse than a Taylor Swift defender. And by the way, I think Chase Morgan loves him some Taylor Swift, so I better shut my mouth.
Be quiet.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, you go up 16, whatever. I figured there would be some kind of back and forth, but in the end, we got it done. So,
well, it was the first batter for Troy. You know, he hits, like you said, that pop up, and next thing you know, it's going 400 feet. That kind of was the writing on the wall for the day. You knew that some balls were going to be flying.
And we followed it up in the bottom of the first, right? Same thing. First batter, first pitch out of left field. So.
Yeah, so the writing was on the wall as far as, like, you know, you combine that with the Sunday pitching, you know, the goofy errors that we make all the time. And, you know, you just kind of had a feeling. I know we really, like, you know, we're about to blow this. But the disappointing thing was that we took 7 and then we gave it to them right back. That was disappointing. It was disheartening. But then ultimately, you know, we scrapped and then we put some more runs back on the board and we were fine. You know, we ended up winning. So that was good. But, you know, you're never going to complain about a win, but that was kind of concerning. You know, you give up 7 after you took 7 from them. That's where, you know, it's pretty concerning.
Can I fanboy for a second? Carson Rockefeller just followed me on Twitter. I'm kind of pumped up about that.
What's up?
My guy's going to be a long-time major league player right there. And he liked my post.
Tell him to send you a jersey, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it going to cost me? $800 like it does at the Tigue for damn ugly jersey, as y'all claim.
You want the green one.
I like those jerseys. So let's talk about that. So we're over the weekend. I have another question about this weekend in total. But first of all, let's talk about the jerseys. I like the jerseys. By the way, a lot of national pundits, including 11.7, talked about how great these jerseys looked. What is wrong with them? Like I was ready to throw 450 on one, and that got blown out the water.
You know, my issue with those jerseys was that we had the red hat. If we would have had green hats to match, I think they would have looked a lot better.
Yes.
But like you said, the Tony Sassery looking like that meme or whoever put that up on 11.7.
That was so right.
That was perfect.
But yeah, I agree with you. If they would have done the green hats, a green belt, white pants with the jersey, it would have looked so much sharper. But I think maybe we just sold those hats because we need the freaking money. I don't know, man. I know we had hats made for today. I thought that the team was wearing, but look, Lane's got one. I mean, that's a pink one, I guess. He's going to say it's red. That's pink, bro.
Light red.
That's pink. All right. But I got a red one, so it would have been, I agree with you, Ryan, and I said that. I think it would have been, would it not have been better, Josh, if they kind of coordinated better with, there was too much red to be involved with green.
There was too much green. It looked like we were playing in a Christmas travel ball tournament. It looked like Santa's elves. Saying.
But if you take away the red hat and the red belt, like it, Brad, Freaking St. Patrick's Day.
Can we
Come
just
on
put
now.
a clover on our shoulder and move on? We are the
No.
Cajuns. We are red and
Dude,
white.
those are sharp. When you look at that jersey by itself in a shadow box on your wall, that is a freaking sharp jersey, dude. I'm sorry.
It made me want to eat Thin Mints. All right, they sucked.
Well, that doesn't anything makes you want to freaking eat a Thin Mint. Hey, Ryan, can you hold on one sec? We got another call come through.
Good.
All right, cool. Let me put him on hold. Let me put the other guy on. Rage and Review, what's going on? Who are we talking to?
Hey, this is Ken again.
Oh,
Sorry
what's
to
up,
call
man?
back twice. But,
All good, man.
all right. You guys good?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Okay. Hey, I got, you're talking about the team. We've had talk about another conversation we had. It was in our seats. We think that we should remove all A's from the uniform right now and put C for captain if you want to have a captain. This team has no alphas.
Well, Josh is not going to disagree.
There's no Jace Conrad. There's no Nathan Nelson. There's no, Blake Trahan. This team has no alphas. You want to call someone a captain, call them a captain.
I think you got some
We have
guys.
an alpha?
I think you have some guys. I think when you look at, Brooks Wright is a freaking freshman. Is almost there, but not quite. I mean, he's a freshman. He can't be.
That's what I'm saying. The kid last year this time was getting ready for his senior prom.
Right.
I mean,
So I
ready
get
to be an
that.
alpha on a college baseball team.
I'd like to say Connor Cuff, but he's not really stepped up at this
No.
point. I mean, I love the kid.
You
Higgs,
want to say to say
Higgy.
Higgs could be that?
Higgy.
But, has he really stepped up to that?
Well, I think Higgy's done a good job. I don't know the behind the scenes, Josh, and maybe you know more than me, but now I'm with you, dude. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I would say Higgs maybe lacks a little defensively this year.
Right. But, you don't have a Debo right now.
No.
You don't, Josh. I mean,
Look, I think
Jose Torres would be the closest
Jose.
you can
Yeah,
get to
there
it.
you go. Yeah, that's a good point.
He'd be the closest you can get to it, but other than that, I like to see an alpha on this team.
I'm with you.
I needed Jose
What
to
you
close
think?
line.
What you thinking, Josh?
Look, well, this is what I think. I think that Brooks Wright has all the makings of an alpha, but the fact that our true freshman, 19-year-old kid, is the team leader or feels like the team leader is the problem on this team.
Right.
Based on what a lot of the people around the program say, Luke Uhas is actually that alpha dude that cares the most and will push guys in the locker room. However, your play's got to be a little bit more consistent to be able to have that clout in the locker room. So he's close, but maybe not there yet. As far as a personality, though, I think he's a good candidate. Other than that,
I hope we keep right around. I mean, yeah, he is a guy that's looks like he's pegged for that in the future. Like I said, last year this time, Brooks Wright was picking out his text for a senior prom. I mean, you
It's a
can't
big deal.
expect that to be your leader of your baseball team.
that's right.
Here's my other question.
In the
Kid,
pregame.
by the way, here's another question I have for you. We have a really highly touted freshman out of Cypress, Texas, and I'm not gonna lie, I love players out of Cypress, Texas, because that's where I live now. Cypress, Katy, Houston, those are my guys.
Okay.
I follow them when they sign. I know the talent we have. Blaine Lucas has gotten one at bat and hit one pitch. Like he's seen one pitch this entire season.
Wait, who's that? Nick, you broke up.
Blaine Lucas. He's from Spring, Texas. I think Spring.
Okay.
And his dad specifically told me not to talk about him, but I'm doing it anyway. He'll just have to deal with it because I think he's one of those young pups that needs to get a chance. Have you? I mean, is he on your radar? To me, we need to give everybody a
I don't
chance.
know if I heard it. Where does he play? I never heard his name. Where does he play?
Shortstop, second base. He's middle infield guy. Now we're
Okay.
stacked there, so it's hard to get him on the field. But at this point of the season, when you're struggling, I feel like I want to see everybody try to get a shot.
Yeah, I can see that. But we had Cuff playing shortstop. I heard last year that Cuff was the heir apparent to
Same.
Debo.
Yeah,
He was going to be the guy to come in and take Debo's place. Now you got Galt, who's very talented. You got an Ole Miss transfer. That seems like that right there, second short, is a very crowded position.
Yep.
It's going to take some talent to get right there on. I think Ordway's got second base locked down. And then to get into with Galt, and you got what's the kid that's out right now from Ole Miss?
Markle.
His name escaped me.
Yeah, Markle.
Yeah, Markle, and then you got it's a very crowded position right there. But I never even heard the kid's name you're just talking about. Yeah.
I think when you see it, but I think when you see some of those guys struggle at the plate, like give somebody else a chance, Doesn't matter what position.
I tell you what, the freshman class, I think, is going to be freaking super good.
Yeah,
totally agree.
But you can't expect them to be the leaders of your team today.
Correct.
And another thing, Ken, we're so used to seeing JUCO guys come in here, and we just think automatically, the new guys know how to play. We forget what having a true freshman looks like, and especially like we were absolutely spoiled with Blake Trahan and Debo. We were spoiled with those kids, so we think all freshmen just walk in here and look like pros right away. It's been a while since we had a big freshman crop that all had to learn on the job. So that's something we also have to be pretty cognizant of too as fans.
And look, I'm agree with what Aaron Meir just said. Galt is flat out outplaying Cuff. I mean, I
Galt
love
is
Connor
great.
Galt, but Galt is just,
he's a good player.
He's a good player,
confident.
dude.
Yeah.
He needs a little confidence and he needs more reps, but that guy is really good.
I've heard Cuff had like Big Ten offers to play football at quarterback. Is that true?
Yep.
Yes.
He has Texas high school football state records.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably had the most yards in high school passing and any quarterback we had on campus the last couple of years, right?
Probably so. It was over 5,000, I think.
So, so I think this team's going to be very, very good if we can keep them all about 2 years.
It's going to take some NIL, man.
Talented freshmen, understanding. Yeah, I know that's the bad thing. Now you can transfer and get a lot of money. But if we can hold this team together, they'll be very, very good. I think a couple of years.
I'm gonna give money. I give too much money already, Josh. They tell me they don't like my money, but I'm gonna still give it.
But you finally bought tickets.
I'd shut up.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, have a good day.
Thanks, Kent. Ryan, your thoughts? You've been quiet there, brother. What's going on?
You put me on hold. I was letting Mr. King go.
No, I put you on hold, and I realized we could merge the call, so then you could listen. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm all in.
There you go. He's all in.
All in on the freshman. We got to go all in on the young puss. That's what I think.
I agree. And
we got to bridge the freshmen growing into themselves while Chase Morgan is still on this roster. If you can accomplish that, I'll see y'all in Omaha. I'm telling you right now.
Well, we got to get that bus ready because we're going this year, apparently.
Oh.
Is that right?
It's on, baby. Let's go.
Man, we were supposed to go see the bus today, man. Damn.
Yeah, what happened with that, bro?
I had stuff to do. We had soccer, and then I got busy, and I just didn't go. But we're going to go tomorrow.
To get the casting couch together, and y'all are letting me down, brother.
Lane, I'll let you know. We'll reschedule. Okay, I got to call the lady back.
He just wants to make sure. Nick wants to make sure we got it ready for.
Hey, watch it. We don't want to talk about her name. We're not mentioning names. We're not mentioning names on the pod, bro.
When do we go to Hattiesburg? It's a couple of weeks. It'll be a while.
I think it's next to last series.
In May.
Hey Lane, if you could, Mr. Fact Checker Lane, could you pull up the scores from this weekend? I don't know if you can pull up scores that show like who won series or whatever. I've been trying to pull that up, but
yeah, give me a sec.
A few whiskeys into it, Nick is struggling.
Syndicate does a graphic that might be up. If not, I use D1 baseball, and you can just move from date to date. It's pretty cool, pretty easy.
D1 baseball is. I don't know why Daryl. Why are we talking about TSAB?
Get that out of here. Who cares?
TSAB said they declined the NIT. I could give two shits. I love you, Daryl, but
thanks for listening.
By the way, yeah, we got the better basketball coach, I think, out of TSAB and us. So,
well, it's TBD.
By the
way, I
like
like that Ryan likes him. That gives me some confidence.
Ryan, can we talk about who our next guest is? Well, I wouldn't say next guest, but who we have coming on for the TSAB week on Monday of next week?
Yeah, who's that? Is that Mr.
That is
AYS or whatever?
Blake Rodrigue with AYS. Josh is coming on our pod. You know, I know you took one for the team last time and went on his pod, but he's coming on our pod, and we're going to talk LSU UL game on Tuesday. That should be interesting, man. I'm sure Cajunomics will come up. I can't wait to talk about that. Apparently, that's our woes are because we reported an illegal stream, or actually we didn't. Well, maybe we did. I don't know if we did or not, but regardless, it's all our fault. So
I think our audience doesn't even know about it.
They don't even know what Cajunomics is. That's what you get for calling yourself Cajuns. Michael Wolf calling this Gulp and Hurt. Weird not seeing him in a lineup with Gulf Struggle. Yes. So,
Shoulder.
yeah, he had a shoulder issue. His mom was actually at the games. By the way, I know she's probably watching because she DM'd me and was like, hey, are you there? I want to meet you guys. Josh was being a stick in the mud because he was mad about the game. But so we did not get to see Miss Gulf, but if she is watching, she did give some insight to the folks and let them know what's going on. Oh God, here we go. Are y'all even ready for this? I'm sorry, dog. Hold on one second. Let me add participant. Hey, are you still here, LeBlanc? Are you still here? Jerry, are you here?
I'm here.
Oh, great. All right. Hey.
Hugs and kisses. How are y'all doing?
What's going on, man? I'm good. How are you?
Oh man, did I interrupt somebody else's?
Yeah,
phone
we had a great conversation going on, and then you decided to call in. But you know what? Whatever, dude.
Oh man, I know I have to ruin everything, guys. I know. I have to give you guys a shout out for holding the.
I think I just cut him off. Hold on, let me go back to it. I don't know how to quite work this yet. Hold on, let's see what we got.
Well, you cut me off.
I know, but I hear you. I didn't want to do that. It says 3-party call.
Nick just making a bunch of editing work for himself. For the show.
I am making so much editing work. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I'm gonna write down.
We have a casting couch phone call going on.
Oh,
right
Jerry hung up. So Jerry, if you hear me call back, man, I screwed that up. I had it right the last time. You got to.
No.
Oh, Gary. Oh, here we go. All right, Ryan, hold on one second.
What do you think Gary's doing right now?
Well, I have my ideas, but hold on one second. All right, hold on one second, bro. Let's add a participant. Let's add. I think this guy. Hey, Jerry, you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. What's going on, man? How are you?
Good. I was just wanted to give you guys a shout out for holding the fort down again.
Oh my God, dude. Yes, thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Oh, I mean, what happened? What I missed? I've been missing out a lot. I've been missing out a lot today.
Holding down the fort again. Holding down the fort. You know how much I hate that, bro.
Hey, you're killing it, man. You're killing it. I mean, I'm trying. Here I am trying to give you a good compliment, and you just crap all over it, Nick.
Jerry,
I don't get it with you.
What you got?
Man.
What you got?
Hey, look. Okay, I obviously can't. I'm sure Josh is saying some smart ass remark in the background. I can't hear a word he's saying. I don't know where Lane is.
You see, I get blamed for everything. I'm not even doing anything. What the hell,
dude? Like,
I literally get blamed for everything. The radio guy blames me for everything. Jerry blames me for everything. The guy at Learfield blames me for everything. It's unbelievable.
Josh, you know I was gonna set you off with that, but I got nothing but love for you, man. I know y'all probably.
Just cut him off. Hold on. There you go. Sorry. I'm sorry. Say that again.
Josh, I got nothing but love for you, brother. But look, today was fun, right? Today was fun. But man, like
Kevin from the top
I gotta say, the one thing that's concerning to me is once again our bullpen. But I want to ask you guys something that I've noticed today at Tigue. We know Troy can hit the baseball. We know they can hit the baseball. They can turn it on in a New York second compared to like when we went up 16-7. My mindset was, okay, we're going into the 7th. We just got a 7-run inning. We've scored every inning up until that point. We're going to run rule them. We're going to run rule them, and then we're going to go home happy. They come back and respond with 7 runs of their own. And luckily, finally, Lee Amade gets that timely hit in the 8th and was able to kind of put it away with those insurance runs. But I wanted to ask you guys, the level of concern for the bullpen, is it the fact that it's Troy, a team that can hit to where it's not as bad, or is it the fact that we actually have problems in the bullpen?
I mean, it's a Sunday game, dude. So, like, I expected it to be that way. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I expected them to come back and score a lot of runs. And I don't know, Josh. I mean, am I wrong in thinking that? Because I feel like, well, based on history too, this is what we do. So
I think that at no point, and I might be the only one who thought this, but at no point did I think we were going to run rule that team. At no point did I think the game was over. In fact, when they loaded the bases in the 7th, I thought, here we go. Do we have bullpen problems? I mean, we've had bullpen problems a lot over the last 3 or 4 years. I think most of it is because of youth. But when you're, like you said, when you're in a Sunday game and scored a run, especially when you go up big, guys are just trying to throw strikes. And credit to Troy. Credit to Troy for hitting the baseball. They got a great offense. And you just kept bringing up the top of their lineup up with guys on base. Did Brooks Bryan come up at one time at all this whole year series with nobody on base?
it didn't feel like it.
I think he came up with somebody
No,
on base
didn't feel
every
like
single
it.
time. I think
Yeah.
Cavill came up with somebody on base half the time. I think what did Mir hit? Did he hit 600 this weekend? I mean, the top 6 hitters in that lineup were absolute chaos for us all series long. So if our frontline guys weren't getting the guys out, certainly not deep in your bullpen on a Sunday, can you expect those guys to be super effective? Like I said, I thought McGehee was actually pretty good for 3 or 4 innings. They got him in the end. I think he ended up giving up 4 or 5 runs, most of that due to the long ball. But that's why I thought that Osteen's appearance was actually kind of not a miracle, but something close to it. Because damn, I did not see that coming from him, and shout out to him. He surprised me. I'm a big fan. I know
An
we made
Osteen miracle.
Hey,
Interesting.
No pun
See what you
intended.
did there.
No, I think
here,
that was
here.
pun intended. Actually.
I'm gonna make Osteen jokes throughout the course of this guy. If he's here for 4 years, he's a freshman. If he's here for 4 years,
6 flags over Jesus.
You
I'm
can
telling
expect Osteen jokes here.
Hey,
But I like him.
every time that man
Hey.
strikes him out, every time that man gives him a strikeout, we give him an hallelujah. All right.
No,
We
don't
can
be
do better than
Hosanna.
hallelujah. But look,
Hosanna in the highest. Are you serious? We're going that route.
no, we will never say that on this podcast. But no, I thought that his performance was one of the standout performances of the weekend, not just today.
It came at a really crucial time with a team that was getting back momentum that we almost totally blew. So, but it was very pleasing to see us hit the ball today. I thought the freshman was the most impressive out of everybody. I mean, Griffin Hebert had some good at bats. Owen Galt had some good at bats. I mean, it was good to see the youth because it was just all weekend we've wanted the leaders to step up, the Luke Uhas's, the Connor Higgs of the world, and they did that today. Everybody got their share of hits today, and like I said, Lee Amadei got that big timely hit in the 8th to get those 2 insurance runs. I'm being honest with you guys, man. Like going into this game, I when we went up 16-7, my first hit those 2 insurance runs. Winning this game was huge. I'm curious to see how the bats offensively look. Pitching, it's a work in progress, and hopefully if Simo comes back, that's going to help. But I think when it comes to the bats, I think today was what the doctor ordered. I hope that creates confidence in our lineup, and I'm curious to see these next 4 games starting Wednesday in Hammond and the 3 games in Mobile, how we respond to what we saw today offensively. If we go into Hammond and we hit like we did today, where we can get some, 8 or 9 runs against a pretty offensively. If we go to Mobile, I think we have a shot to really, really step it up as long as the pitching isn't doing what it did today. I thought Friday and Saturday, or Friday, we did enough to win pitching-wise because of Herman. Yesterday, not so much, but I think I'm curious to see what happens in the next 4 games. If today was just some fluke where we got some luck on our side, or can we carry what we did today, especially on the offensive side, with the, terrible bats we've had the last couple games, if we can carry that into Hammond and next week. Because I do think the schedule should ease up a little bit. The last 4 or 5 weeks we've played nothing but ranked opponents. I mean, South Alabama's not ranked. They're not bad, but they're no rival on the road. Then I think it follows up with JMU. So at home. So I would hope that with the competition going down a slight bit and the way we hit the ball today, I'm going to be really interested to see what we do going from here. But
I have no
anyway, guys,
faith,
go
man. I appreciate you saying that, but I don't have any faith. Based on past results, now they could very well surprise me this weekend. I fully expect we'll beat Southeastern in midweek, but things happen. But they got to prove themselves to me and to, I think, a lot of Cajun Nation this weekend, and this is the opportunity for them to do that. So,
Yep, no doubt about it, guys. No
all
doubt.
right,
Well,
thanks, Jerry.
Anyway, just wanted to come say hello. I'll be joining y'all this week before the weekend series. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Appreciate it, brother. Thanks.
Energy.
All right, Ryan. I think I figured it out, Ryan. So sorry. I mean, I didn't really, but you're back on. Yeah, let's give it a wrap up. Ryan, any final thoughts from today's game? Then we'll move forward before I turn it over to our favorite topic, softball.
Just glad we at least salvaged one. We had a chance to fold whenever we started giving them the runs back, but we scrapped and we salvaged one. And if we could build on this going into South Al weekend, I think we'll be all right. But South Al sucks. That's all I'll say about that.
South Al does in fact suck. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate you calling in. All right, let's turn it over to softball and look at what we did this week. Not a whole lot of good, if we're being honest. Of course, we fell to LSU 14-0 midweek. Then we headed on the road to Marshall, lost 6-5 against the Thundering Herd on Friday. Followed that up with a 7-1 win, and then had our insane streak. What is the streak again, Lane? It was insane.
It was 89.
89 straight series
and
wins.
I don't know what's happening with my camera.
It was broken on Saturday with a 12-4 loss. I know a lot of people are disappointed. Know a lot of fans getting a little bit antsy out there, but Josh, I mean, it is what it is at this point. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, I mean, we knew what this was. Obviously, I will say this is probably the darkest week in softball in several years. You get smacked in Baton Rouge, and then you come home. Or no, you're on the road, but you go to Marshall, who is an okay program. They've had a couple of decent years here and there, but you get run ruled on a rubber game to lose a series. That's bad. I think we knew it was going to come to an end. I think we all understood that the series streak was over this year, but we probably didn't think it was going to look like this. And you never do. So you kind of just got to lick your wounds, come home, and try to win a series, man. That's tough. That's tough to get your ass kicked like that on a getaway game, on a rubber game, and to lose the series against Troy of all teams. Rough.
I agree.
Yeah, I didn't think I knew the streak would come to an end, but I definitely didn't think it would happen the first conference series of the weekend. I was like, oh, when they came back in game 2, I was like, okay, great. They almost run rolled them. Cool. But then it's like not that they gave up on the last game, but it was like they couldn't, like baseball, they couldn't find the timely hits. Because I think at one point they were down 7-4, and then the 6th or 7th inning they finished it off and run rolled them. I'm like, this is not the team we're used to seeing on the softball field. So I'm hoping they can put it together and string some conference series wins now that the monkey is off their back. But it'll be an interesting softball season for sure.
They fought back on Friday, which was good to see. I mean, in the first game, they went down early. It was like 3-0, 4-0 in the first. They did fight back, but couldn't, I think maybe same kind of situation. Pitching has to start showing something. I know we have some injuries there. I mean, I don't know. What is it, Josh, with injuries in our spring sports this year? It seems like the diamond sports are all injury prone. I don't know, man.
Well, I think our injuries are totally related to baseball, to the turf. I absolutely hate the turf. I think the turf causes way more injuries than it's worth. And then I'm willing to debate anybody on that. That's just a fact. Anyway, the softball team, you can't walk people and you can't make errors. And it was a game. It was a game into the 4th, I believe. And then Marshall just ran away with it a lot, in part to walks, errors. And you just can't give freebies. I mean, I know that we say it, it's on repeat. It's a broken record. But the fact is that when you don't beat yourself, you give yourself a chance to win. And we do that way too often in these two programs right now, and it's tough. It's tough to watch.
I agree. They move on to face McNeese on the road on Tuesday. Good luck with those officials, and then host ULM, which you always have to beat ULM. So ULM did win a series this weekend. I mean, they're not going to be a pushover. We're going to have to play a lot better than we did in Marshall to get a series win there. But again, you expect to beat teams like McNeese and ULM at a minimum for where this program should be. So hopefully they can get that done this week. Lane, do you have any score updates from around the Sun Belt quite yet before we close it out?
Yeah, I have some from yesterday and today. JMU defeated ULM in a series 2-1. They lost the first game of the doubleheader yesterday, but won the second game. Coastal swept Georgia Southern in their series. They won 11-1 yesterday.
And by the way, doesn't Coastal host Troy next week? So that'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
I hope Coastal freaking. I'm not a Coastal fan, but
no, they're both douchebag programs.
But bro, like this,
I do love being in a good conference, though, man.
Yeah,
It's
but
so
let Coastal freaking sweep their asses. I'm okay with that. Sorry,
Yeah,
Lane.
you're good. App State won over Texas State 8-7 yesterday in 11 innings. Southern Miss defeated ODU yesterday 11-4, and my computer's acting up now. And Old Dominion actually won today as well, 4-1.
Wow,
over Southern Miss.
Oh, shit.
Georgia State
Okay.
defeated South Al 15-14, so they had a game like us today. And Arkansas State defeated Marshall 9-1, and then App State defeated Texas State today 10-8. So App State
that's a
actually beat
big
the series
win for App State. Did they
Are you
sweep?
kidding me? Yeah.
No,
They won 2-1.
Not sure if
I
it was
think.
swept, but I think they're 2-1 for sure.
That's a massive series win. Texas
No
State's
wonder
been playing good
US
baseball.
No wonder USM isn't giving a shit today. We won and they lost. You notice that? Like USM, I think they're trying harder than we are as a fan base. I tried to make a rivalry with them, but like it doesn't seem like it's catching on with our folks quite yet. We just kind of like whatever. But they sure do get quiet when they lose and we win. We don't hear anything from them.
I could have sworn they won today. I thought
No,
that
they got
ODU
beat. Yeah.
What? So,
Yeah.
Jay give it out on the radio wrong. Because
But they
I was like,
did.
what?
But they did win the series, so
Oh, okay.
you would expect they'd win the series, but they did drop today's game.
Okay, I thought that they won Saturday. That's what happened. They were, you know what happened? This is what happened. They were up late in that game, and I think Southern Miss ended up scoring a bunch late in the
Yeah.
game. Everybody had gone to sleep. That's what happened.
Hey, we have a comment from Catherine Jagano. I don't know. Do you know her? I don't know. New to the pod. You want to comment on what she said?
Avid fan. So we got, she wants to talk about this, and she has a great point about this. We are trying to make a push late in the game. I think it was the 7th or 8th inning on Saturday. Ball is hit in front of Stelly, and he gets thrown out at third base. No force. Just a ground ball to the infield. He's at second. No force play. At the batter, the very next batter comes up and hits. Maybe it was right. Can't remember who it was, but hits a triple or a double in the gap, and we ended up scoring 2. So maybe it was a second to not the next batter, but the one after. Anyway, we ended up scoring 1 run on that hit. We should have scored 2. When Stelly broke from second, the ball was clearly in front of him.
Right.
And what do we all know from Little League is that you don't run unless you're forced if the ball is in front of you. I said that exact sentence sitting next to her in the stands, and we had a conversation amongst our little group. Well, we get home and we're watching the highlights, and on the broadcast, you can see him. He comes up after he's thrown out, and while they are reviewing the play, he looks at Deggs and he goes, "The ball was behind me, I thought." And then Deggs calls him stupid.
Bro,
Which
come on now.
He should have, because as often as we come on here and talk about the Little League base running mistakes that we make, that was just a perfect encapsulation of really awful base running that cost us a run. And no, we didn't lose by 1, but at the same time, that changes the rally and momentum of the game at the time. So she's right to bring that up. That is awful base running by a guy who's old enough to know better than that. So
I agree. Not going to
look,
disagree with that.
We are a pro Caleb Stelly podcast.
We're a pro every player on this team podcast.
But he was approaching Caleb smelly territory for a minute there. Yeah, he broke out of it.
But
he broke out
Caleb
of it.
would tell you he was wrong. I think.
No, he was wrong.
I mean, he'd tell you he played better.
Come on, man. The ball was behind you. Come on, bro.
All right, before we go, boys, before we go, I do want to ask, St. Patrick's Day. I thought it was today because I'm not Irish, but it's tomorrow, right? I'll go around the horn, start with you, Lane. Lane, do you have anything special planned for St. Patrick's Day tomorrow? Or did you already do that? I know you were busy last night.
So we had some stuff. We had a pub crawl on Friday and then a after party in the park last night at work. So that was fun. And then I'll wear my green tomorrow. I'll wear the hat that has the green on it. But yeah, nothing really planned for tomorrow.
He's wearing a green hat or a hat.
Well, with the Cajuns logo on it.
Yeah. It's not. Hey, this one's legit. I'm just saying. I know there's some haters out there that are going to be like, "Hey, I'm not Cajuns hat." I know, but I like it. So shut up. Josh, Troy's Paddy Wagon. Your thoughts? Anything special planned for St. Patrick's Day tomorrow?
I'm going to live my life like it's a regular Monday because I'm not Irish. I don't give a shit about St. Patrick. And St. Patrick's not even a saint.
I'm going
to wear what I was going to wear anyway.
You're going to do what the rest of the country does during Mardi Gras. Not a damn thing.
Nothing.
Right? Mardi Gras should be a federal holiday, by the way, in my opinion. I'm just saying. It should be a federal holiday. To answer my own question, no, I'm not doing anything. By the way, I found out the reason people wear green on St. Patrick's Day is because leprechauns can't detect you if you're wearing green. And if they do see you, you don't wear green, they pinch you. And that's why people pinch on St. Patrick's Day, which some old lady did to me in a supermarket one day. And I got really pissed. I don't know you, lady. Why are you touching me? Anyway. All right, that's all I got for today. Josh, I'm playing the Donkey song for your boy Donkey.
It's a fantastic song.
We're all Donkey fans. You know who hated this song? Old assistant coach who's now Virginia Tech.
Chef?
Absolutely. And when I found out he hated the song, I pleaded for him every time he went out to third base in the first inning.
Get out of here, John. It's a great song. It's a classic.
John Chef doesn't know what's up. Anyway, so yeah, we'll never forget that. All right, everyone. Thanks again for joining us tonight. Today was fun. Today was a lot of fun. Hopefully we get to do more of that throughout the season with our post games. But before we go, don't forget, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once we get to 500 subscribers, we get to do some really cool stuff. We're getting there, but we need a little bit more help. So please tell your friends to subscribe to us on the YouTubes, as my mama calls it. She's watching. She's going to be mad because I'm making fun of her. Like, subscribe, and tell your people. For Troy's Paddy Wagon, Josh, and Lane, I am Nicholas. You all have a great rest of your weekend, and until we talk next time, go Cajuns.
$1.75, we're gonna go one. What about $1.75? We're gonna go 1.75. Man, I went to the Sally D. Quincy, man. You wanna see what I bought me, man?